Well, of course, the big news out this week is this morning's jobs report, which looks pretty decent. We increased the number of jobs in February by a little over a quarter of a million. The expectation was for a little less than that, but more importantly, they revised up the previous 2 months. It was disappointing that none of that drove down the unemployment rate. The unemployment rate stayed at 8.3%, mostly because about 500,000 people re entered the job market. Remember, with the government, the way they count things is not quite right. When people stop collecting unemployment benefits because they ran out, they no longer count those people as unemployed. I don't know why, but that's what they do. Then, when those same people start looking for a job coming back in, they count those people as unemployed. Well, they weren't before, but now they are. They still don't have a job, so it kind of skews the numbers. But it was a good decent report. 225,000 jobs a month is not nearly enough to put everybody back to work, by the way. It would take years and years and years at that rate. We need a bigger number. But at least it looks good, because when you add that number to the other numbers that we've been getting over the weeks, for instance, this week's unemployment claims was a quarter of a million or so, and that's a weekly number. Anything around a quarter million is usually indicative of a better job market, and we're averaging that over the four week average, so that looks pretty good going forward. Also, the ISM, Institute Supply Management number, came out earlier Monday for the service sector. And just so you know, the ISM belt has a manufacturing sector and a service sector report. The manufacturing was the Friday before. Both numbers are above 50, which indicate expansion. And the service sector represents 2/3 of the economy, where the manufacturing is only 1/3. And the service sector increased more and higher than the manufacturing. So that was good news this week as well. And the other bit of news out this week, which was of a concern, is the Greek debt swap, where the bondholders of Greek debt had to agree to exchange their old bonds for new bonds at less than half value, which is pretty tough to take, and had to voluntarily do that. And that went okay, not as smooth as they hoped, but went fine. And that result was as of yesterday, Thursday. So the market made a big correction at the beginning of the week, 200 points in the Dow. And right now we've made up most of that 200, but we're still not breaking up to new highs on the indexes yet. And that was the first hint that we're going to have, or the first hint that we might have a correction. And with the good news out recently, you would hope that we could break above and go higher. But I have a feeling we are still looking for that correction, that 3 to 5 to 7% correction. And we probably will get it sometime in March. But, that's hard to know. No one really knows. What you can say for sure is that our economy in the U.S. looks to be getting better. And you stay with the trend. If the market's up, you got to stay with it. But just be looking out for that correction when it comes.